told you it was peppy.
It was peppy. My
Peppy.
dog is going crazy right now.
Oh my gosh. What kind of a dog do you have?
Well, we just got this one. It's rescue mini pin Chihuahua.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's like I told my wife. So I went on a little camping trip for 2 days to do some spiritual woo-woo stuff. And she goes, well, when you get back, I may have a dog. And I said, okay, just no Chihuahuas. My wife, I'm not so sure she loves me as much as she says she does. Why a Chihuahua? Why?
Big ego in a small package. Well,
but see, that competes with me. My big ego and my anyway.
Nothing can compete with you. Nothing. How long have you been married, may I ask?
33 years.
Okay.
Good thing she doesn't watch YouTube.
Yeah, I was just like going, oh my gosh. So everybody, welcome to today's chat, to today's Chasual, which is a chat that's casual with Danny Shay Tarot. And for those of you who do not know me, I'm Tarot Stash. Thank you for being here. All of Danny's links are below, including how to contact him, how to make donations, how to get readings, get some stuff. Mine are down there as well. So please feel free to drop by, give those a look.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And as you were, if you're watching this in the playback, thank you. Thumbs up, leave a comment. And as always, as I always do, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. I think it's just safer that way.
Well, we're going to talk about the stock market and where they should invest money in. So that's okay.
That'll be okay. I will be also giving free medical advice. So it's all good. And so we have a lot of people watching. Mom, please watch this one. That Danny Shay. So okay. So your channel is Danny Shay Tarot.
Tarot.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it just because?
It's just, I don't know what that means. It's just because. It used to be something different.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So when I started, when I started my YouTube channel, it was during COVID, and so we never got out, and so I was always in my bathrobe.
Yes, that's right.
So I was Bathrobe Tarot. And
I remember that.
Yeah. And then I got to get out more.
Yeah.
And somebody sent me another guy reading in his bathrobe, and he had it way cut down, way low. And I go, oh, what the hell? That is creepy. So.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, one of the great things about YouTube is you can find whatever it is that you're looking for.
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
You can find. And I'm glad that people have found us.
Yes.
So this is wonderful. Danny and I have been trying to get this together for 2 months. And
probably, yeah.
Both of us are retired, and both of us have like no time.
No time.
So, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I know. And it's
wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's great.
Yeah. So, more people in chat. Thank you for being here.
Yay.
This is wonderful. And so, Danny, I'm going to start off with this. This question: what's your origin story?
Oh, well, I was born. Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to be. I mean, by the way, Danny's already figured out that I'm a bit of a smartass and snarky. And I have a feeling Danny may be similar.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So you were born. My question was, were you born on planet or off planet?
Oh, that's a good one. That is
So
a.
you were born. My question
Oh,
was, were
sorry.
you born on planet or
How does that? How does that work? Everything's shut down. Anyway, wow. Obviously, because of the question, and it repeated itself.
Mhm.
I've had many, many lifetimes on this planet. So,
Yes.
so there was times that I was born off planet and on planet. So it's not just a simple yes or no question. It's a yes and no question.
I like the way you said that. And I have to say, I'm getting full body chills as you say that. So there's a whole lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
I would also add, follow that up with is there, well, are past lives something that you believe in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there a past life that is, which past life is influencing you the most right now? And would it be on planet or off planet?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So, and I like the way that you phrase that, because in what I believe in, as we evolve, as we grow, we will resonate with different past lives stronger than others. There will be past life traumas that we will have to let go of in this particular awareness of my life right now. So I have never really thought of myself as a spiritual person up until the last couple of years.
Okay.
And I've had a religious background that my parents put on me. However, you said you can find anything you want on YouTube. And in this community, I've really grown a lot spiritually.
Yes.
And found a spiritual connection that spiritual synchronicities that said, you need to be on this path more.
Ah, okay.
Right. And so it just opened up this whole world. And I get so much information, not just from the readers, but from the community, from the people in the chat. It's and in the comments. They're so powerful, and it leads us just in a new direction a lot of times.
It really does. And by the way, Danny, in case you didn't know, I have the best chatters. I have the work lurkers. I have the best lurkers. And I have the future lurkers. So
future lurkers.
Yes, future lurkers. So,
who's a future lurker? Oh, you got this woman in the swamp.
Yes, I've heard about her.
Look at her.
Yeah. Apparently, you're to blame. You sent her a deck. Is that right? Did you send Sherry her first deck?
Did I? I might have.
Correct, Sherry?
I might have.
I could be wrong on that. I mean, I'm the first to admit that I'm wrong. So.
Oh, I'm the last to admit I'm wrong.
Okay.
I'm usually always right. And now I guess if I didn't send her a deck, I'm going to have to. Thanks a lot, Gerald.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it was Angela Cardamancy Mesquite. Okay. All right. So my apologies. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. So your origin story.
Okay, so I'll get back to that, because it is kind of fun. Well, for me anyway. I got introduced to woo-woo tarot and things like that. About 30 years ago, when I got my first deck, this woman comes over to my apartment, and she is a friend of a friend, and she comes over, and I introduce her, and I get introduced to her, and she pulls out a deck of cards and goes, "You want a reading?" And I go, "Oh, I don't know." And I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh." I'm flashing back on the Ouija board, and I'm like, "Oh no, not the."
Sure, yeah,
And so we did a reading, and I go, "That's really cool. I kind of like those cards." And so we went up to, this is down in LA. We went to this place called the Bodhi Tree. It's a bookstore, big metaphysical bookstore. Picked up my first deck of cards, which are right here.
There
First
you go.
deck.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I find it interesting. A lot of my decks now, like they're dirty, they're hard to shuffle. I have to clean them, and I go, and then they never quite shuffle right.
Yes.
Never cleaned. I mean, crystals, put it out,
Sure,
and
of course.
and charged them up, but never cleaned, shuffled. It's just the best deck.
So that's the RWS, the Rider-Waite-Smith.
Rider-Waite-Smith, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you've had that. Do you know how to clean them? Do you know how to actually clean them physically? I've heard
for oils and things.
Well, I've actually heard. Well, actually, what I've heard is that you use a cheap form of white bread, and then you rub that white bread on the surface of it, and it clears stuff off.
Okay.
So, for entertainment purposes only. I am the guy, Danny, who I sand decks. I use steel wool on them because if they're too shiny, I want to be able to shuffle them.
Yeah.
I do that.
So I have a deck that, and I'll hold it up, and it just glares all over the place, and it's no good for YouTube. But I've also used baking powder.
Okay.
And put it in a bag and shake it up and rub the cards with baking powder or baking soda to try to get the oils off. But
this could be a good future laugh and learn. That I do the laugh and learns where we talk about a topic and we explore it, and how to clean a deck. I've done how to cleanse decks, but how to clean a deck.
How to clean it. Yeah.
So,
well, first off, you probably should wash your hands before you.
Yes. I mean, yes. Well, and I'm a big person who ritual is an important thing in my own practice because I am a practicing witch, been for going on 15 years. And so ritual is one of the ways that I build power. I do the same thing, and it builds that power. And part of it is when I sit down, like before I do a live, you saw this, or you heard it. I will light some incense. I will smudge of some kind, and I will wash my hands before I'm sitting down, just to make sure that everything is in good shape.
Right. And one of the things that we do as psychic mediums, and I think that when we jump into tarot, we become psychic mediums, whether we think we are or not. If we're just reading the cards, and even as a student reading the cards, and you pick up a card and you go, the Ace of Swords, and you go, okay, well, let me look at the book and see what that has to say. Our awareness will pick out words from the book that are highlighted in our awareness, and so we are tapping into that universal energy, the woo-woo energy of spirit. And I really think that we need to be in the sacred space, in the protected space. And so I'm always, and a lot of times I find that some of us who are just starting out don't put up their rituals, their protections, however you want to say it, bring in your guides and angels or whatever. Wash your hands, wash the aura around us so that I'm a big proponent of only reading in the light. If it starts getting dark, I'm out of there. I am like, hell no.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad you said that, because the idea of psychic mediumship and being psychic and being a medium and being empathic, part of what I struggle with, Danny, is there's so many opinions, and these opinions about psychics and mediumship and tarot.
Don't forget witches. Don't forget witches.
And witches and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that there's so many negative connotations, which is unfortunate, because when we pause and we get curious and to find something out, we discover new things. The word witch means wise one. Male or female? Yes.
Yeah.
So, and
so I was in a business that I was in sales, and people were going, "You are so scummy." Not me, but your profession is so scummy. You're worse than used car salesmen. And I'm like, well, used car salesmen could be good too if you need a car.
Yes.
So, I just found that just like, so narrow-minded. But getting back to the negativity of this, which area has more negativity attached to it? Witches, tarot readers, psychics? We can throw another one out. I don't know what it is.
I'm going to say probably witches.
I think so, which is totally wrong, because you are the wise one. My neighbor up the street is a practicing witch for years and years and years, and I've been wanting to go really have a good conversation with her. She's probably going on 30, 40 years. And but she's been dealing, with healing and getting rid of some nasty old C letters in her body. And so she hasn't been that available, but she is cured. Well, I don't know if that's the word. She's doing way better. Let's just put it that way.
Well, and I want to do a series, and I wanted to talk to people who are practicing witches, because there's so many variations of it.
Sure.
And therein lies a lot of power, because let's face it, and again, this is Gerald's opinion, come from me YouTube, it's all right. A lot of the things that witches did back in the day are currently being used by modern medicine. Witches are great healers. They're great protectors. They're very wise. And so, but anyhow, don't get me on my high horse.
Oh, I think I already did.
Yeah. Or don't get me on my soapbox, Danny, because, there you go.
It's funny because, I don't know if funny is the right word. I would agree with you on that, only because I have such a limited knowledge of that area. But I know that people, even in my own family, go, "Oh my God, you can't get into that. You can't read cards. That's the devil's work." So, there's just such a conception of all of the areas that we dig into. So, that's why I think rituals and protections and staying in the light is so important.
Yes.
And anything can be used for good and evil. We live in that planet of that time and space of duality. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting back to origin, because we're not going to get off the first question.
That's all right. But before you jump onto that, there's a few people more people have joined us, and I always like to acknowledge people when they're here. Thank you. And Kathy Beer said, Danny is always right unless his wife is right.
That's true. Yeah.
And
now I have a dog, so the dog is right before me too. So
yes. Deb, Purple Elephant Deb H said, I like that Danny indicated the back of his head like the cerebellum for awareness. I don't know if you were aware that you did that.
I'll have to go back and look.
So, and Sherry likes your hair. So, and Elitha Beth said, never read tarot while eating cheese puffs.
Oh.
Probably a very, very good choice.
That is wise word. She must be a witch, maybe?
Or she's just wise.
She might just be wise.
Both.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Beth Aspasia Rising said, people are afraid of witches. People think psychics are fake. Not all people, obs. So fear is a problem, as always.
Always.
And that's a really key thing, because this idea of fear of the unknown is debilitating.
Yeah.
So, and people are afraid of some cardboard with pictures on it, as Deb says. That's what cards are. They're cardboard with pictures.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And Lady Eva J said, when I was younger, I had people telling me that learning about spiritual things was bad. When I got away from them, I blossomed. And I have to say, I was very fortunate, Danny, and I've said this before. I was raised Catholic. I'm the youngest of 12 children. Mom and Dad stopped when they got it right. Have to say that. And I say that every time that I see my siblings. But the thing, what was wonderful is my mother got her spirituality through Catholicism. Not everybody does that. And my mother was always a one who, when I would ask questions, because it's me, I'm of course asking questions. I'm like, well, what do Jewish people do this time of the year? What's all this stuff? And Mom would say, I don't know. Why don't you go find out? She was like going, go find out, explore. So, but yeah.
A lot of, and I grew up very Catholic too. And yet my mom was the one that introduced me to the first woo-woo, which was astrology. And not that much. She didn't do it. She was just aware of it. And she would say, your grandfather, you need to talk to him because he doesn't do anything without looking at his chart. And I go,
oh wow. Okay.
Oh. And then I go, well, let's go talk to him. Well, he's dead. And I didn't understand. Now I do. I'm going to go talk to him.
And have you done that?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I've been listening to YouTube too much.
Yeah. Beth said witches were feminist in the way they were independent. One of the reasons they were persecuted is so men, and I do mean men, took
mean
men, thank you, took their medical practices and forced women out.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, okay. So your origin story. Let's see if we can get back to that. What's your origin story? See, we'll put the banner back up, and we're only 25 minutes in. It's okay.
Okay. And so I'm gonna fly through this fairly quickly. So so I was introduced to the deck. I got my first Rider-Waite deck. And that stayed with me for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I would pull it out, I would use it. My friend would take me to some woo-woo classes type things, some mediumship. We would do psychometry. I remember this one, putting something in your hand, close it,
Yeah.
and with a picture face down. And I remember doing that with this woman for the very first time outside of the class. And she goes, I was doing this, and let me see if I can do it for you. And I was blown away with how much I actually saw of the picture. And I'm like, wow, I need to do this more. And then life got in the way.
Yes.
As it does. And I had I guess the awakening would be a traumatic event in my life. And it was more just, it was more emotional. I was dealing with a family member that became very toxic.
Okay.
And so I was in this toxic situation that I couldn't figure out how to get out of. And so anyway, I flipped to meditations, and I go, I need some peace. I need to find some way to turn this off. And so I dropped into some meditations and then picked up the cards again. And from there, from that time, I really started digging into a lot of cards. I learned, I restudied the cards, their meanings, got different decks. I picked up the spiritual deck that I picked up was Alberto Violdo. I mispronounce his name all the time. His deck, Shaman's Dream, I think.
Okay.
Think that no, his first shaman deck. I have them both, but and the synchronicities kept rolling with that.
Yeah.
I met a woman who was she called herself a neo shaman, and then she gave me the book The Power and the Wisdom by Frank Foolscrow, who is a Lakota medicine man. Powerful. And then my neighbor, who I don't really tell my neighbors that I read cards, that I'm psychic, but a neighbor came by, and my wife goes, "Oh, Danny reads cards," and I'm like, "No, shh."
Thanks,
and
dear.
He goes, "Yeah, go get your deck." And so I said, okay. And I said, I just got this new one, and I held it up, and he goes, "Oh, Alberto. Yeah, I went to school with him. He was my roommate."
Wow.
I know. And I'm like, really? Yeah. Before he went off and did his anthropology and off into his journey. So from the cards, then you get into spirituality, and then I start talking to these guys. And of course, say hello to Psychic Duck.
Well, hello, Psychic Duck.
Yeah, Psychic Dope voted for Kamala.
Oh, Psychic Dope. Okay. Hey, Psychic Dope is smart then? I mean,
Psychic Duck? Yeah.
Psychic Duck. Okay.
Yeah. Wise.
So, yeah, so wise. So maybe they're a witch.
Maybe. I'll have to ask.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you've discovered them, those who are behind you on the wall. And
oh yeah.
And you are now here.
And now I'm here. And that's that's the origin story. But I got to tell you, YouTube has really opened me up in ways that we're all feeling that speeding up of time in sense. And YouTube's a big part of that.
Yeah.
Because we get to meet, I get to meet you. I mean, I only know 2 other witches. You're the 3rd one. So, and maybe more, but
yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm glad that I met you. So I'm very fortunate. Thank you. One of the interesting things is you've been paying attention to synchronicities, and we were talking about that before, backstage. Synchronicities are extremely important, and pay attention. And by the way, don't limit what the universe is trying to tell you from your narrow viewpoint. Your narrow viewpoint, because I mean, there's so much more out there.
So much more. Yeah.
So, and Sherry took her first shaman class from you. So there you go. So.
And that was a journey class, and where the in the shaman tradition, the way that they meditate, the way that they get into listening to spirit, so that they can get direct revelation, direct answers, so that they don't have to go to the news, which you're not going to get anything. So you get it within yourself. And so you drop into these different levels of awareness, and they call them worlds: upper, middle, lower world. And so you get all these different points of view from the upper world, maybe the galactic beings or your angels, guides; lower world, your power animals and things like that.
Yes. And so how long have you been doing the shamanism stuff, the shamanic stuff?
This is probably one of my past lives that is very influential on me at this time stream. I've been doing that for about 10 years, I think. For about 10 years now. Wow.
I know time is all relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's ridiculous. So, well, you sort of touched on this, your spiritual path. Anything more that you want to say about that?
It's evolving exponentially.
That's a good word, exponentially.
I mean, I tap into I don't know where it's going. I know that wherever this path that I'm on is spiritual based, and I invite that and I encourage that to be part of my path. So I don't know where it's going, to tell you the truth. But
my unsolicited opinion is I don't think you need to know where it's going. I think you just need to be on it and in it.
Yeah. And I agree. And be accepting of, and I there's an intentionality that goes along with that. And so I try to keep that intention right on the path.
Yes.
And at the same time, allowing me to maybe go off into a different way, but still on the same path, if that makes any sense.
That makes actually perfect sense to me, because very few things from my experience, my limited experience, is that, once you know your true north, there's lots of ways to get there. Lots of ways. Yeah. We have a question from Kaylee Fogo Pogo. Shamanism question. Would dragons be upper or lower world? Just starting my shamanic journey.
All right. Dragons. This is I would think that's wow.
It's a good question, isn't it?
That is a cool question. I am not tuned in to dragon energy at this moment in time. There are so many people who really are just like really keyed into that. If I were to, I think that you would probably find them more in middle world, lower world, because I think dragons are around us right now in a different vibration. And so we may find them in the middle world, which is this reality, but that's where you also find some elementals. I find the elemental energy in the middle world and in the lower world. That's where I discover them. So that would be a fun place to, just explore.
Yeah.
And invite them in. If you go to a journey in the middle world or lower world, that's where I would start. And just invite them in. Just say you're welcome to come. Don't like drag them in. Just invite them in.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't drag anything in.
Dragon. Dragon. I didn't even say that pun.
Yes. Well, yeah. And I think I'm a big person who consent is really important. So don't be forcing anything to do something that they're not supposed to do. So
there's something in my journey experience that if you come up to a tree, which is a living being, just don't go up and hug it, but go up and ask if you can get next to their energy, if you can blend in with their energy. Ask permission, because they may be in a cranky mood. You never know.
Yeah. Well, yes.
I think that, they're not, but
well, but I think it's really important. There's a respect about that.
Yes.
And I feel respect is extremely important for me. It's an important aspect of what I do and how I practice. So, and respect means different things to different people. So I have to be open and be willing to ask a question and to be able to adjust myself. Kaylee followed up and said, I have 4 I work with regularly or fairly regularly. Was just curious. So thank you. Definitely feel more toward the elemental.
Yeah. In what I do, she said that she just is starting on her shamanic practices. And I am too. So it's such a huge thing that we're always learning. But what I encourage people to do is to have conversations with them, ask them questions. Where do you like to hang out? What's what do you like to do?
Yeah.
Just have a conversation with them. And maybe, a lot of times, especially with power animals, you'll go down into the lower world and you'll invite an animal. You'll be aware of an animal coming out into your awareness, and ask them, are you my power animal? And they may shake their head. They may lead you to your power animal. They may not be, but they may just be, somebody to guide you to your power animal.
I think that's a really important thing because, I ask about your spiritual path. It's a path. It's a journey. It's not necessarily a destination.
synchronistic right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just this morning, I was thinking about the path versus the destination. How so many people, it seems today, are living to get to the destination. They're not on the path. I want more money. I want a Lamborghini, another one.
Mm-hmm.
I want, a new
Yes.
iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just being happy on the path that they're on.
Yeah. And there's a huge, I mean, you said that very well. And being on the path is being in the present. And when you are in the present, or when I'm in the present, I am more open to experiencing divinity in many forms. I can be a channel, I can be a conduit for that energy to flow through.
Yeah.
And we're as a whole, we're escalating in our energy for not just astrologically or in the skies, lots of stuff is going on.
Yeah.
So I think that's really,
And
really
and we know this, but we keep forgetting it, I think. Well, I'll just speak for myself. I just keep forgetting that, I'll go, oh, but I want to be it's like, this is the path. Just enjoy your feet on the ground. Yeah.
Feet on the ground. And I've said to people, and I've needed to remind myself, a small step is movement.
Yeah.
So that's significantly important.
And I just like the phrase too: feet in the ground and head in the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. I love that image.
That's amazing. And more people are in chat, so thank you everybody for being here. All of Danny's links are below. Please make sure you go over and subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to mine. There's lots of ways to contact either of us. So there you go.
Yeah.
Beth had said, I wonder how focusing on the result or destination is part of our DNA. From a Darwinian point of view, it might have saved us, but now we apply it to things that don't matter, like survival did. Mm-hmm.
I think, when I read this, focusing on the result or the destination, I flipped into intention. And so I guess there's a difference between having a really clear intention and then focusing on the result. I mean, we can play with those word dynamics a little bit, but if you're living or trying to be the result versus focusing on getting to that's something to think about later. Yeah.
I'm typing.
That's deep.
Okay, so we also had Rain also shared, I'm so much enjoying the path, even if I veer off course once in a while. I used to be only about the destination, not anymore. That's a time waster.
Yeah.
And so this is something that a friend of mine told me recently.
Yeah.
What is your intention and where is your attention?
Yeah.
And I'm like going, ooh, that's good, because I need clarity about both of those. Because then it helps me to stay on the path.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Windhorse, hello.
Great.
Said, I have walked the path of a solitary witch. Joining the communities of light workers has totally meshed well with my practices. I always felt as if I was on the journey of the hermit.
Shining light.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. So true. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound like a good topic for readings. So
Mm-hmm.
you're right. You're right. Um, so now, what divination tools do you use, and what are your favorite divination topics?
So, um, my favorite tool is the one that I'm most comfortable with, which is the cards.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that I'm working with is my head.
Mm-hmm.
That is not as comfortable, um, because I haven't used. um, and I've always known that I've been psychic, but I never, I didn't want to admit it so much.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm opening up to that more and more. And so my favorite tool are the cards, tarot cards, oracle cards, are really powerful. The pendulum, I use that a lot.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Divination rods, not so much. And the
Mm-hmm.
only reason I think for that, it's the same reason as where I just don't use my brain because
Yes.
I haven't used it enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm okay with setting the divination rods away because or letting them sit for a while because I've got the
Sure.
pendulum that
Yes.
works really really well for me.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time where it, you have to get used to, you have to practice with it so that um, it feels your energy, you feel its energy, and back and forth. And then crystals. And
Uh-huh.
I don't know anything about crystals. I just have a lot, and they make me feel good. And so I'm going, they must be doing something.
Sure. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But if you ask me, what is that one? I'm going, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a book.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't that something that Einstein said? He didn't know his own phone number because he could look it up in the phone book.
Yeah.
He didn't need to waste that space. He knew where to
Oh,
find it.
and yeah. So one of the things going back to my path that I said on this woo-woo journey that I find myself on, before I was always in the books,
Mm-hmm.
always. Not to say that I was a student or I struggled with all of that,
Sure.
but I didn't give up. I would go, I'm going to master this subject. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
master it. I'm going to get a piece of paper that says I'm a master. And so I have a couple of those pieces of paper. And in this practice, I promised myself from the very beginning that I would not do that, that I would just absorb and be what I am and get my degree from spirit and not have a piece of paper that's not important.
I
So
like that.
and that's not to say that some of these people who have, different degrees in whatever, in Reiki or this,
Mm-hmm.
that's not important because I think it is. I just I didn't want to focus on that
Yeah.
on my journey.
Yeah. Because yes, I understand exactly what you're saying because I'm a similar way. I'm surrounded by books. I used to work in a library. I
Yeah.
like having I like having access to information. And there comes a point where I can get so focused on learning the topic, I'm forgetting to apply what I'm learning.
Yes. Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
so yeah. Okay, there was a question. Is Gray had asked, earthquake?
Earthquake?
Did you have an earthquake recently?
Does now?
Yeah. Grace said they're calling it a 7.3.
Am I doing this?
Not that I can tell.
Well, hang on. It not around me because it didn't alert me on my phone. I'm in Central California, so it might have been 7.3. Holy crap, that's big.
Yeah.
That is big. Come on, where's my shaker map? Shaker. There it is. Earthquake alert. Let's see.
Oh, it looks like off Oregon, as Linda called it. She said they changed it. Alaska and north.
Petrola, California, 37 minutes ago. Ooh. I'm not sure where that is. If it's off the coast, we may be, yeah, and then they had a 3.7 and then a 4. Oh, they're really getting shook up.
Wow.
If it's off the coast, we may get a little tsunami.
Yes, there's been talk about that. Yeah. Tea Garden Chicken said, we need to build a relationship with our tools. We learn each other's language.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. And one of the things that I wrote down is that the cards love you, and you need to make sure that you love the cards back.
Yeah.
Even when they're telling you challenging things or things that are hard to consider.
Yeah.
It is a relationship.
Well, and that's where I think getting a reading from somebody else will really help, because when you read things that are a little too close to you, that you have too much invested in, like yourself, then you may not want to look at it from an objective point of view.
Yeah. And I think readers need readers as well, just like therapists need therapists, doctors need doctors.
Yeah.
I think there's an important aspect of having someone who is outside of the situation to see it. And it does look like there is a tsunami warning.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I'm lucky. I'm 100 feet above sea level.
There you go. There you go. And
I don't know if that's going to help, but it'll help. But
Windhorse said, I have always called my my journey as the weirdling way. In the day of no internet or mobile phones, I read the Dune series. They called their magic the weirdling way.
Weirding way, yeah.
Weirding, yeah.
Weirding, yeah.
Thank you. So, yes, there you go. One of my friends said a witch needs a witch, and I think it applies to all areas. Yeah. That's so true.
And then the key is then how do you hear? How do you listen to things that you struggle with? That you see it in the cards and you go, yeah, I don't think I want to look at that right now. And then I'm going to get a reading. I called Gerald and he goes, blah, blah, blah. And you go, yeah, that's what my cards say. Well, how do you look at that? And that's the challenge too. So
it is. And that's where it's work. It's work that can be hard, but we need to keep showing up and chipping away at that. If we know that this is a hard topic and it shows up, okay, I've got to get my resources available to support me while I do that.
Right. So Gray said something. He said, signing off, I got to make sure that he's in the tsunami zone. Yeah. So please, if you're in that area, a 7 point is huge.
It is.
I lived through the Northridge earthquake and it was 6.5, I think. And you talk about ketchup on the walls. Our kitchen walls were covered in, it looked like Picasso came in. And it was all ketchup and mustard, which was kind of weird. And it was just all over. And I'm like, how did that happen? It was horrific. So please take care of yourselves.
Definitely.
I'm always, always warning people, not warning, just giving them a heads up. If you're in an earthquake zone, it may be a little too late, but there's going to be aftershocks. Make sure you have hard-soled shoes right next to your bed.
Oh, that's
So
a good
that when you, and water, because I was so dehydrated,
point. Mm-hmm.
so dehydrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
East Bay, San Francisco. So yeah, we may be getting it down here too.
Mm-hmm. And Jane the Seeker has arrived. Hi, Jane.
Hey, Jay.
Danny, do you have a favorite divination topic?
No, I don't think I do. I like to read on politics.
Mm-hmm.
I like to read on shamanism subjects
Mm-hmm.
and galactic, and all things galactic. Um, I'm so sick of the dark side of politics. So I would say that is getting less and less.
Yeah.
And even though it's still prominent on my channel, but um, I do a show on Sunday that is not politics. That's all about whatever spirit brings in. That's got a lot of shamanism,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll use a lot of different indigenous cards, which that's a whole nother thing in there, because they don't want to, they go, oh, that's the devil's work, that's the wrong work,
Yeah.
that, even though I don't know if they dark energy work, but and then galactic cards. I love. Dr. Gale gave me the Galactic Heritage deck, and she goes, I can't get that deck. I can't read it. And we
Oh,
were up in Shasta on a live, and she goes, go down and get that deck. And I didn't even know I was doing a live. It just like, oh, we're doing it. And that
mm-hmm.
was the only deck I had. And I'm getting all sorts of things from it. So I have a good connection with that deck.
That's great. Jane the Seeker asked, is Danny doing any shaman classes?
Oh, yes and no. Tomorrow, medium Kim and I are going to do a Lemurian journey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to do two short journeys of about 20 minutes each. And I started doing a shamanic journey session called Our Ancient Futures.
Mm-hmm.
And we would dig into past lives, future lives, where we are today. And I got too busy, and I need to get that back on track.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Jane. Another synchronistic thing that
Yes.
says.
Yeah. And Beth says, what time is the Lumerian journey, please?
That's going to be on, I think, 9 a.m. Pacific time.
So that would be noon Eastern.
Noon
and is
Eastern.
it on, whose channel is it on?
It's a Zoom.
Oh, it's a Zoom. Okay.
It's a Zoom. So send me an email, and I will get you on there.
Perfect. Okay. So tell us about your YouTube channel. Spill the beans, Danny.
Spill the beans.
Yeah, spill the beans. Danny Shay Tarot.
Danny Shay Tarot. That used to be Bathrobe Tarot. And every now and again these days, I think about going back to the bathrobe, because I'm going, I don't even want to face the day anymore. Because I do a lot of political stuff.
Sure.
I read a lot of politics. And just to throw it out, I am an election denier.
Okay.
I find it really curious. This last week, I'm going, oh my God, you're using all the same talking points that were used against Democrats. And so I go, yeah, I get it's kind of weird, but I still am believing that Ms. Harris will be our next president.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I just did a reading for myself last night, and I'm going, who's going to be there? And he wasn't, she was. I think his energy's getting a little stronger, maybe because people keep talking about him in the position. But anyway, we're not going to go there. So I do a lot of politics, and just this week I said I'm shifting it up. So my Friday show, I ramble politics. Monday is the energies of the week. Wednesday is going to be more galactic-ish, and Sunday is my Sunday with Spirit, and it's just it's my penance, so to speak, which I love. I love because I'm not going to church anymore. So this is my church.
Well, okay, this is your church, but your path is your church too.
Absolutely.
And you know what's going on. And so, by the way, everybody, if you don't want to miss these, go over to Danny Shay Tarot and like and subscribe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ring that bell so you can be notified. So now, Danny, one of the things that I always like to end the interview with is what's bringing you joy?
Hanging out on your channel.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. If I had a fan, I'd. Thank you.
I have enough fan for both of us.
Thank you. Yes, you do. Besides, so I'm really having a great time on YouTube. I am just loving the community, loving the energy that comes in. It's awesome. And what's bringing me joy is tapping into new awarenesses as they come in, letting go of some of the fears that are holding me back from maybe a past life or two, and just connecting to nature, getting back to nature again. You know, you mentioned being retired. Now even though I'm like so busy, but I do get to connect to nature a lot more than I could, because I try not to have a schedule on YouTube. The only thing that I'm definitely going to keep doing is Sunday. I don't want to miss that. So I can miss other shows, but not that.
I really like the idea of the Sunday show. It's one of those things. It's because a lot of times Sunday is the reset day for people.
Yes. Yeah.
As they move into the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great thing to do.
And
by the way, I want to say hi to Sheila. Spirit Voices. Hi, Sheila.
Hi, Sheila. Yeah, and the other thing too, going on this spiritual thing, when I started that Sunday show, I mean, like, what the hell? What the hell am I doing that for? I was a guy in a bathrobe flipping cards, or slinging cards, as somebody would say.
Yes.
And I go, you know, but I just had this draw, and I just stepped on it really without knowing where I was going with it. And that's fine. And every Sunday, I still don't know where I'm going with it, but I'm more and more comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just encourage people, you know, as long as it's good, even it might be scary as hell, just do it.
Yeah. And I like that. I mean, things can be scary and be good at the same time, because scary is when we go outside of our comfort zone. That's when we grow. That's when we evolve and we learn things.
Yeah.
So we learn things. Well, I'm going to take a bit, and what's bringing me joy is I am doing Glimmer Globe 2024. for. And glimmers are those things that things are all lined up in our mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, and soul. We feel centered. We feel really aligned and connected. So I'm gathering those. Those videos are on my channel, and I've got a fun one coming for today. I filmed it before this, and it just makes me giggle.
Yeah.
So, but do
and
you have?
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have anything that you want to ask or share before we finish up? Because
I do.
Yes, please.
I do. I want to know how you started in light language.
Calling it officially light language is a result of being with JJ and Karen.
Okay. Excellent. Both excellent.
Yes. And that's Tuta Speaks and Starseed Awakening 1111. I hosted a laugh and learn about light language. I'm like, I don't know what this is. And in the conversation, I came to realize that part of what I have been doing for 25 plus years is actually a form of light language. And Danny, it's because when I do readings of any kind, I access Akashic records when it's appropriate. And when I do this, I see symbols. And so those symbols would rise up off of the records. I would interpret the symbols and what they meant. And it was in the conversation with JJ and Karen that I discovered, oh my God, this is a light language.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
And it really, it actually, so the symbols are a big thing for me. So, and light language, it's a language that is different than the one that we have.
Yeah.
That we're used to.
The thing, we talk about being in the psychic realm and seeing things, but what that means is hearing things, feeling things, smelling things, using all your clairsentience. I think I said that right. And so in getting a knowing, and that is the light language. Now, they do it verbally, which I find fascinating. At first I was going, it threw me back to through the evangelical times of my childhood. And I went, but it opens up things that it frees your mind a lot.
Yes.
And I also think, before I was like even thinking about that, I would consider nature sounds the light language of nature. And it would really tune your body back to where it should be.
Well said. I like that.
Yeah.
Very well
Awesome.
said. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
You did. And that was just great. I mean, I'm seeing these things rising up, these images rising up.
Well, and cool. It's one of those things, Danny, that once that I made that connection, and they were holding space for me, it was really amazing. I made that connection, and suddenly things just clicked into place, and I was like going, oh, okay, oh yeah, got it, yep. And so, and since then, I have actually been able to do. My comfort level has expanded, and therefore my ability to access the light language and the Akashic records has grown.
Absolutely. Yay.
So
awesome. I find that same thing. Yeah. Getting comfortable with this and then we just allow more accessibility
Yeah.
so that we can share that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I am working to get JJ and Karen together again to do another light language
Yay.
show.
Yay.
So I'm looking forward to that. And it's really interesting. I think one of the things that is fun for me being on YouTube is being able to share space with people who have different skill sets. And if we do anything together, we do readings, the synchronicities of what one message is to the other,
Yeah.
really mind-blowing. There's something
Mind
to
blowing.
Yeah, you can't make this crap up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's phenomenal. So okay, so today is Thursday, so that means you've got your ramble Friday night?
Ramble on Friday. Yeah.
And then starting off Sunday. So
And Saturday we're going to be doing a Lemurian journey.
and people should follow the link to your email below to find out about that.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, I've got all of the things, you know? So
of course. All I got is the Ace of Swords again. It's truth. Gerald, you're speaking the truth.
There you go. So,
yeah.
Danny, thank you so very much.
Oh, this is my pleasure. Thank you.
It has been
thanks
great.
Thanks, everybody in the chat. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. And Jonathan put your channel into the chat. Thank you, Jonathan. So we will say farewell, and everyone very much take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And, you know, in a world where you could be anything, be kind.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.